Hey, good evening. I am Kim Welch. This is my husband, Brandon, and we are excited because tonight we are going to learn about establishing tiny habits that lead to big wins at home. And we are a blended family of 6 with 4 at home, and we have some kids that need some tiny habits. So I've got my pen and I'm ready to take some notes. Our friend Sandra is joining us from Anthem Medicaid, Kentucky, and she's providing Spanish translation. There's info on that in the chat. Tonight is brought to you by the Council on Post-Secondary Education, Gear Up Kentucky, the Pritchard Committee on Academic Excellence, and our friends at Partners for Education at Berea College. So welcome to all of our parents and guardians and advocates for our Kentucky students. I am so excited to introduce you to my friend Ernesto Mejia. And he is joining us from Southwest Florida. He is part of the CoolSpeak crew who we brought to Kentucky last month. And I left just so filled up and so energized. And I have no doubt that you guys are going to leave that way tonight too. He asked me to describe him in one sentence, and he said he is the proud product of immigrant parents. So I'm going to let him tell you about the rest of himself. So take it away, Ernesto. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for having us. Shout out to Kentucky Gear Up, and shout out to all the parents, guardians, grandma, grandpa, and uncle, sibling, whomever may be on today, because you're looking out for your family. You're trying to help out. You're trying to be there for them. And the most difficult job on planet Earth that comes with the least amount of preparation is that of being a parent. That one doesn't really have a manual. That one, if we're advanced, we took a class, maybe a workshop, and if you're super advanced, you read 2 or 3 books also, okay? But before we continue, we want to make sure that we can give out some prizes. So in the chat, DJ Gill, whom you all approved of, who you enjoyed his music today, is going to put a link for you to click on and register, because at the end of today's session, we'll do a big wheel, those wheels that give out some prize. You might win a prize. What it might be, I don't know. I'll let you know a little bit later to make sure you stick around. Because if I tell you now, you're just going to check out and come back in at the end. I don't want that person to win the prize. We want to make sure that you stick around, that you learn, and that there's something of benefit during today's session. So let me start off by challenging you. First question of many that are going to come. And I see that there's a good number of us on here. So I'm going to need a good number of replies in the chat. What is one habit that you would like to change at home, whatever it might be, PG-13 or below, one habit that you would like to change at home? Put it in the chat. It could be in the morning, it could be in the afternoon, it could be in the evening, it could be with your children, it could be for yourself, it could be what you do, when you do it, how you do it. I want us to start thinking about this because it's important. And it's critical in order for us to know how to change, what to do. So again, as we're getting those answers, I want to make sure that I reintroduce myself. My name is Ernesto Mejia Macias, if you say it in Spanish. If you say it like my kindergarten through 6th grade teachers, then my name would be Ernesto Mejia Macias. Same person, same dude. I will be here for the entire session for you. I'm used to my name being slaughtered here and there, but I make sure that I politely try to correct. My parents gave me a name for a reason, and they gave me a name that they were proud of, and hopefully a son that they're proud of. Well, maybe not at all times, but they are proud of them. And in life, as parents, you want your children to have a better life. As guardians, as the people that are helping raise someone, you want them to have a better life than you do. Regardless of the type of life that you had, you want them to have a better life. So habits are going to be something that's going to help us with that. Sometimes we start too big. So let me explain to you what I mean here. I have not done extensive research, but I know this answer. I can tell you why the majority of diets fail in this country. Nobody can stick to it. Nobody follows it to the T of the letter for the amount of time, the amount of days, how it's described, how you're supposed to do it, when you're supposed to do it. If you're like me, like, hey, you know what? I've been on a diet 3 days. I don't see any changes. This diet sucks. No, you have to give it time. You have to be patient. So I want to make sure that we're clear on that and that we understand that, because if you don't, this is what tends to happen. Now, I have two flaws. One is my amazing hair. The second, I'm extremely honest and straightforward. I don't feel the need to sugarcoat stuff or wear white gloves. If you don't give something the time that it needs to actually work for you, it's not going to work. Habits can take anywhere between 28, 21 days, all the way up to 142, 163 days. It's going to vary. Now, for some of us, we don't even realize it. So let me get into it a little bit. What is a habit anyway? A habit is an action and behavior that we perform subconsciously. Now, some of you are thinking about it right now. So what do I do subconsciously? Well, let me freak you out a little bit, because approximately 40% of your day is composed of habits. Up to 40% of the things that you do in a day are straight habits. I'm going to give you some examples. I won't get too detailed in some, but you can figure them out. When you wake up, you get up on the same side of the bed typically. You go into the bathroom, and I don't need details about what happens in there. When you brush your teeth, you use the same hand to grab your toothbrush, same hand to put on the toothpaste, and ironically enough, the same amount of time to brush. For some of you, you may need to brush a little bit longer. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. You're done with that. When you get dressed, for example, pants, shorts, the majority of the times you're putting the same leg in first. For some, you're right. For some, you're left. If you want to challenge yourself and stimulate your brain tomorrow, try it differently. So for example, if you typically put in your right foot first, tomorrow, you're going to remember the bald dude and be like, hey, what did that bald dude say to do today? Oh, try it and put my other leg in first. Note to self, please be near a couch or a bed, because some people think, what's the worst thing that can happen? I've had people get back to me, hey, I tried what you asked for. I ended up on the floor because I couldn't balance myself. It's challenging you. It's allowing you to think differently, okay? So if you want to stimulate your brain, do things differently. If you brush your teeth with your right, start off with your left. Your brain is going to be wondering what's going on and why we're using this hand today. If you brush your teeth for a short amount of time, brush them for a longer amount of time. Your brain again is going to be thinking, hey, this isn't a regular habit. These things can stimulate your brain. Your habits then continue. What you do after you get dressed. If you make your bed or you don't make your bed. If you get your coffee, you don't get your coffee. How you leave. The attitude we have. Not to say that anybody here has done this, but I'll confess for myself. For a good while, my habit in the morning was, let me start screaming early at my kids so we can get out the door on time. Little did I realize a lot of it had to do with me. I'm going to get 5 more minutes in, but I'm going to yell at them from here. It's time to get up. But I didn't get up. I didn't give us enough time. I then pressured them. We had a grumpy ride to school, and it didn't work out well. I had to do something that's very difficult. Look in the mirror. You have to realize, while we think that our teachers get more teachable hours with our students, it's not true. You do. You have more teachable hours with your children because you have more hours with them overall over the course of a year. Now, the difference is some of your lessons, some of your teachings aren't just with your words, it's with your actions. I'm sure you've heard actions speak louder than words. Well, it's what you do that matters even more than what you say. So I want to make sure that we're aware of this, okay? Because in this process that I'm about to take you through, I want you to then let me know what might or might not work. I want you to challenge yourself and look at what you do, how you do it. And I want you to understand some of the habits that we're creating and not even realizing. Case in point, let me give you an example of one of my favorite habits to see parents display on a regular basis, okay? As I leave this up here, I'm going to explain to you because these are some of the pros of habits, okay? So it's the weekend. We're going to take our children to the store. We have the same conversation every time as soon as we arrive. All right, little Bobby, I want you asking for any toys. We're just going to be in and out. All right, Jenny, don't even think about it. You already know the routine. You know what we're here for. We're clear on everything. Do we get it? Even your children look at you like, okay, because they already know what they're about to do. You walk into the store, and if your children were like mine, Papi, can I go look at the toys? I know we can't buy any. I understand that. I'm just going to look to see if there's new Transformers, my son would say. Sure, honey, you can go look, but remember, we're not going to buy anything. Okay. You've seen this at the store. You may have actually done this at the store. I'm not saying this was necessarily me because I don't want to blow my own cover. Your child goes, looks at the toys. For those of you that are fortunate enough to have mom and dad there, because not all of our households are composed the same. Mom and dad are there shopping, 2, 3 kids. One of them comes back with a toy. The one child knows which parent to go to. They're not dumb. They know which one they have a better shot with. So if they see dad, but mom's a better option, they'll walk like this, hiding it, and go towards mom. If it's vice versa, hi, mom, just going to go over here and talk to dad. They'll come up to you with the puppy eyes that you're well aware of. Mom, I promise I'm going to do even better in school. And when we get home, I'm going to clean up my room. I know we said we couldn't buy any toys, but this toy right here, I just saw it's going to be discontinued soon. We need to get it because if we don't get it now, we won't be able to get it in the future. And well, you know, I really love these toys, right? What does mom do? Mom looks at dad. Go talk to your father. Here she comes. The child's like, all right, sure, no problem. The child then moves on to father. And our children are smart. Hey, dad, I just spoke with mom about this toy. She said it was cool and we could get it. She just wanted you to give the green light too to make sure we were good. Nothing of what mom said, but children know how to work us. They know what to say. Dad then looks at mom like, what? I thought we said we weren't going to buy anything. Like, why are we even having this conversation? Mom then looks at dad like, I don't know what you're talking about. I sent her to you so that you could approve. Dad's like, I don't know. Go talk to your mom. Here goes the child again. Even more confused, even more frustrated, but still laser focused on his or her objective. Mom, you know, I don't want to bother you. And I know we said we didn't, you know, we weren't going to buy anything. I know that this is a little pricier than, well, I know we weren't going to buy anything at all, but like I said, this is going to be discontinued. Like we want to get this toy because if not, I won't be able to get it in the future. And if I do, it's going to be even more expensive. Mom says no, sends her back to dad. Dad still says no. The child has an emergency plan that's yet to fail their entire life. Some of you are already giggling and maybe even looking at your child on that side of the camera. The child then moves on to plan B. That's the ace under the sleeve that's never failed them. The child walks around all sad and mopey. And then they look around the store. Where are there more people where I can really embarrass my parents thoroughly and make them super uncomfortable? Where is the largest audience for this theatrical display that I'm about to put on? As soon as they find that audience, it's time to go to work. The child proceeds to throw themselves on the floor. Mommy, I want this toy. I told you I wanted this toy. I want this toy. What do we do? I'm not saying all of us, some of us, and you're putting it in the chat. Get up now. Note to self, when you start speaking and your mouth does not open and you speak with your teeth touching together the whole time, that means you're at, you know, a danger level. Get up now, get off the floor, and I'm not going to tell you again, stop doing this in public. We're going to go pay for this toy and you're going to see what's going to happen to you at home. The child that was crying like somebody was just beating them, gets up. All right, cool, let's roll, let's go. Happy as can be. Why? Because they got away with what they wanted, their toy. What did we show them? We're going to say no. We're even going to warn you before we get to the store. But if you go to your little routine, we're probably going to say yes, and we're going to leave angry, but you'll leave happy. And unfortunately, there's an array of those examples. How many times do you tell your children to wake up? How many times do you tell them to clean their room? How many times do you tell them to do their homework? How many times do you call them over for dinner, for lunch, for breakfast? Those are just a few of the examples. And we need to create that culture, that habit, that respect in our household. But it's difficult sometimes. Just being honest with you. Why is it difficult? Because, well, little Johnny, like, he needs my love, and I haven't seen him all day, and I work all day. So you know what? Just this one time, which turns into about 932 times. But to ourselves, we say just this one time. We allow these things to happen, hence the reason we pay the price. Now, while I'm not getting into the habits quite yet, I'm telling you what it is that the consequences can be. I'm going to fast forward you to their senior year of high school, moving on to college. That child that's been told every day what to do, what time to get up, when to brush their teeth, how to make their bed, how to clean up, when to eat breakfast, when to go to school, when to do their homework, when to go to the bathroom. I mean, we tell them everything. When that child goes to college and you're not there to say anything, they may get a little bit lost. They may find a newfound liberty that didn't know existed. They may then learn independence, but not the way we wanted them to. So I want to make you aware of these things because I don't know, but in the chat, help me out. And I need to see if it's not you, it's not you. If it is you, it is you. If you've been frustrated because you've had to repeat yourself to your children at the store in the morning to get up, to eat, to clean, to do homework. If you've been frustrated over that, in the chat, put me. Just put me. Me. I guess it's me. I'll tell you that right now. Me. If it's not you, say I'm okay. Me. I see lots of me's coming up. Disclaimer to the workshop. My name is Ernesto Mejia. I am a parental engagement expert. Does that mean that my household runs perfectly and my children listen to me every single time? No. I told you I'm honest. Do they do pretty good? Sure. Every single time? No. So somebody even said me, like, you know, with a lot of E's. So let me tell you some of the pros of establishing good habits that are important. One, you decrease frustrations. Once I created a new habit at home for my children, when I had younger children in middle school and high school, we actually rode to school happy, singing, chill, on time. How did that happen? Let me give you one quick example. I decided at one point, I can't keep on doing this to myself or to the children. So what did I do? I decided, you know what? Y'all need to learn how to get up on your own. That's how life is going to be when I'm not around. You need to know. You need to figure it out. But I'm going to make it simple for you. If you choose not to get up, then I just don't take you to school until you get up. Now, I know that you're thinking on that side, like, whoa, my kids will be asleep forever. Let me tell you how it worked out for me in my household. Every household is its own world, so it's going to be different for some of us. I said, if that's the case, though, when you do get up, I drive you to school and I walk you into the office and you have to speak your truth as to why you're tardy. My daughter and my son then looked at me like, well, what do you mean the truth? Well, why did you get there late? Well, because I wanted to sleep in. That's what you let them know. You have to look them in the eye. Why? Because when they say the truth hurts, it hurts to be honest. I'm challenging you as a parent and our children as well to be thoroughly honest because it sounds painful when you say it. Hey guys, I'm sorry, I'm frustrated today, but I got up late and that put us all behind schedule. Hey team, I'm sorry I yelled at you. I shouldn't have yelled at you, but I'm stressed at work and I brought it home. I'm sorry. It's difficult to be honest, but when you let it out, it helps you out. So of course, leave it to my son to test me. He got up late one day And he's like, Papi, I heard the alarm, but I turned it off. I was like, no need to make excuses. No need to make excuses at all. I told you all we need to do is speak our truth. He's like, all right, well, what am I going to tell him? I'm like, why did you get up late? Well, I hit snooze, and I stayed up late probably, and I just decided to sleep in. That's all you got to do. I'll walk you into the office. We get to school, walk in towards the office. Of course, my son's like, Papa, you don't have to go in. I was like, oh no, I need to go in. This is about to be good. No, like I got it. I'll be honest. I'm like, oh no. I have no doubt you'll be honest. That's how I raised you. But I'd like to see your honesty. We walked into the office. The two secretaries were there. Like, hi, did you have a doctor's appointment or a note? My son looks at me like, the face was like, are you really going to make me be honest? Yes. Because sometimes the truth hurts. He had to look at both the secretaries. Hi, I'm late because I stayed up late. I hit snooze and I chose to sleep in instead of getting up for school. And then he looks at me like, are you happy now? And in my head, I was like, not yet. I want to see their response. The secretaries looked at him like, did you tell him to say that? I'm like, I asked him to be honest. I didn't tell him what to say. I just asked him to be honest. The other secretary looks at me like, could you do a workshop for all of our kids to be honest and their parents? And I'm like, no, we probably can, but to each their own. They wrote a note. My son went off. He wasn't too happy. Guess who was early from that point forward in getting up? My son. Because if there is no consequence to your action, that's why you keep on doing it. If I don't have a consequence to something that I do, that's why I keep doing it. And while you think that you're giving them a consequence, let's be honest before we go into the rest of the pros. You may tell them, your teenager, give me that cell phone. You're not doing good in school. I'm keeping it for a week. Your child does great for 2 days. And on day 3, Mommy, Daddy, I love you so much. I think I've learned my lesson. I'm a better human being now. I just want to thank you for that. You don't have to give me my phone back yet if you don't want to, because I know there's more days, but I could really use it because, I have some assignments and we have this group project. But I just thought I'd let you know. Mom and Dad look at each other. She has been better. Here, you can have your phone, but don't let it happen again. What's the lesson that we're teaching? I'm going to say I'm going to do something, but then I won't follow through and you'll get your way. So let me go into the pros, okay? 1, decrease frustrations because you'll both be on the same page, the kids and you. You'll make them maybe learn what we want. My goal as a parent and in all parent engagement, family engagement that I do is to raise independent, critical thinking children that will do the right thing when I'm not looking. I'm not too concerned about what they'll do when I am looking. I need them to make the right decision when they're on their own. Teaching independence through habits is a big deal, and it's very helpful. And you need to be aware of that. Teamwork helps. I'm going to ask for a vote again. Moms, dads, guardians, whoever's on there. If you could use some additional help at home, just write the word in the chat, help, please. Help. Just write help. Just write help. I could use some help cleaning up the house. I could use some help cleaning. I could use some help doing homework. I could use some help with the dishes. I could use some help cooking. I could use some help getting them to sports. I could use some help with, I see a lot of helps. I see a few SOSs out there. I see more than a few helps. Well, this teamwork will allow you to live in better harmony, teach them independence, and decrease frustration. Stability helps. What do I mean? Let me give you the example of the best habit building for children that I know. I call this the military for little kids, AKA daycare. I don't know if you've noticed, but for those of you that have children in daycare, somehow they arrive and they hang up their little jacket, they push in their little chair, they wash their hands and dry their paper with a paper towel, dry their hands and put it in the trash. They finish eating and pick up their own plate and take it and put it where it needs to go. I have a 2-year-old. Yes, I have a 2-year-old. For like the last 6 months in daycare, all they say is nap time, get your stuff. And my 2-year-old will go and grab her blanket and her pillow and she puts it on the bed. They just tell them to lay down and they lay down and they fall asleep. Ask me if that trick's working at home, because it ain't. It's the truth. Daycares create habits because they have steady routines. It helps with the stability. It teaches a healthy approach to life in general. It decreases frustration for a lot of people. It teaches independence. And that teamwork amongst all of them makes the dream work at that daycare. You know as well as I know, you've come home and said, why are you throwing your jacket on the floor? You hanging up every day over there. Some of our kids, if they answered honestly, well, it's because some days I hang it up, some days I don't. And then the days that I don't, you tend to pick it up and I don't have to worry about it. But they're not going to say that. They won't. So we need to be aware of what it is that we're doing. So these are some of the pros of habits: decreasing the frustration, which we all want, teaching independence by allowing them to do things on their own. With this one, I have a disclaimer for you, and please be aware, and please, please, please be patient. It may not work the first time, second, third, fourth, but you have to stick with it and allow them to fall and get up on their own. Because if you build that resiliency in them at a young age, they're going to be golden later. But if you keep on picking them up, they're going to keep on falling and asking for somebody to pick them up while they're making up an excuse as to why they fell and why they couldn't get up. Allow them to figure it out. All of these things are some of the pros of the many that come from creating habits, okay? Now, I don't know if I can get your camera on for somebody or even a volunteer, and I'm going to ask Missy or Kim if it's okay if I can get somebody to turn their camera on possibly, and if I could hear them, that would be even better. So is that possible or not? I'm not sure if it is in the setup that we have right now. Can you let me know?
I have my camera on and I'm off mute. I don't know if anybody else can see me though.
I'm sure they can.
Okay.
Can you do me a favor, please? Do you have a jacket or a sweatshirt that you have around you by any chance that you could grab?
I got
A
one.
jacket or somewhere nearby?
Yeah.
Now, you are going to be our model here, okay? So here's what's going to happen. Thank you very much to our helper back there. Thank you very much. So is that a jacket? Okay, so I'm going to, if you can get a jacket or some sort of sweatshirt with sleeves that opens up in the middle. Or Kim, did I lose you, Kim? Or are you switching attire there? There you go. I see you. All right, you got a jacket now?
Wardrobe change.
Oh, it's okay. No good. You're good. All right, so I'm going to ask you a favor. Before you put it on, if you could stand up, move back a little bit so that I can see, okay?
Oh.
I need to see you, and all I'm going to ask you to do is to put on your jacket like you typically do. That's it.
Okay.
Just put on your jacket.
Right.
Put on your jacket like you typically do, okay? All right. You can take it back off for me, please. For those of you that were paying attention with me, you notice that she very smoothly and cool and sleekly threw in that right hand and the left hand and didn't even think about it. Now I'm going to ask you to put on your jacket using your other hand first, the left hand.
That's a little harder.
Tell me why. Why is it a little harder?
I don't know. I didn't even realize that I went right-handed every time.
So 1, you just helped me with the definition of habit. 2, you've showcased, and the reason why I asked you to volunteer, why we don't like to change some of our habits, because it takes a little bit more time. You have to think. It's a little bit more challenging. It's not as smoothly. And it doesn't just happen as a habit because you have to think about it. It's not something that you do unconsciously. Okay, let's give our volunteer a round of applause, a virtual round of applause. Thank you very much, Kim. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. So I wanted to highlight that to make sure that we're aware of it, because again, change is going to be a little uncomfortable at times. Change might be a little bit challenging at times. Change might not come as easily as you would hope it would, okay? So let me cover this to make sure that we understand how a habit works. This is what the habit loop looks like. There's a cue, something that happens. Then there's a routine, something that you do. And then there's a reward, something that you get, you feel at the end. Let me exhibit it for you, okay? Now, before you start yelling and typing in there that we can't hear you, your cue was you couldn't hear me. Your routine was, hey, dude, we can't hear you. Somebody, I know the client's already started panicking, like, we lost sound. Your reward was you could then hear me again. That's a simple explanation and example of how cue, routine, and reward work. Sometimes that cue, I'm going to give you a cue that messes me up. For those of you that are unaware, the next time you're in the mall, the corner shop tends to be, I don't know, a Cinnabon and Auntie Mae's, and they typically end up there in the corner because that way the aroma from what they're making goes down the hallway. If I walk by a Cinnabon, I don't even see it. Oh, hold up. Something's going on in here. Like, I smell it. Where is it? It makes me want to go. My cue is the aroma. My routine typically is like, you know what? I'll just buy two. I'll take it easy today. I'm just going to do two to a Cinnabon. Oh, for you and somebody else? No, just for me. I'll take two. My reward after that first bite, like, oh, this is why I work out a few days out of the week so that I can, eat 10 times the amount of calories in one sitting. That is a cue, routine, and reward. I need you to be aware of this because sometimes there's a cue and you don't realize it. For some of us, for example, let's say someone's baking cookies for school tomorrow. You walk into the kitchen because you're going to get some water because you're really healthy and you drink a lot of water. But the cookies are like right there, staring at you. And in some cases, I feel like they talk to me. Ernesto, how many of us do you want? Like, no, don't talk to me like that. Well, because you're there, your cue, you see or smell the cookies. Your routine, I'm just going to grab 4 or 5. They won't notice these. Your reward, as soon as you eat them, in some cases, your cue, routine, reward, you know what? I'm a little bit down. Let me go get some ice cream. You know what? I'm a little bit down. Let me scroll through social media for a few hours. You know what? So on and so forth. So notice that habit loop because that's important for us to be aware of, okay? That habit loop is something that I need you to understand because if we're trying to create new habits, you have to understand that there's going to be a cue, a routine, and a reward. I'm going to give you another example of it to make sure that we understand, okay? So we'll be talking about this later, and this is a name that I want you to understand, to know, and even possibly a book that I'd recommend for you. Dr. B.J. Fogg at Stanford University teaches tiny habits. I'm a huge fan of tiny habits, and it's what I'm going to teach you today too, because he makes them so small so that every time you achieve it, there's a sense of victory, of achievement. It makes you feel good about yourself. Versus when we're trying to change this habit, like, man, I'm going to get fit. I need to go to the gym for 2 hours every day. It doesn't happen. It's too much. When you do something tiny, you know what? I'm going to try to do 5 push-ups, 5 jumping jacks, and 5 squats every day. I don't care if I have to do one at a time. When I'm done with them, I'm like, So let me give you an example of a tiny habit, the one that BJ Fogg uses often. Next to your toothbrush, you're going to put the dental floss. Now, every time you go and you brush your teeth, you're going to start brushing your teeth and you're going to look, oh, there's the dental floss. Your cue, brushing your teeth. That's, when you see it. The routine is going to be when you're done, you're going to grab the floss. Part of your routine, tiny habit, is this. I'm going to ask you to floss in between 2 teeth, and that's it. That's it. Just floss in between 2 teeth. Now, some of you are sitting there right now like, bro, like I can do more than 2 teeth. Good. But I'm making it a tiny habit like BJ Fogg does. So that like me, if I grab the floss, man, I got to floss in between 2 teeth. you know what? I feel like an overachiever today. I'm going to hit up another side and get in between two more teeth. Even though there's a lot more to go, even if I just did in between, two sets of teeth, I already overachieved. So it makes me feel good. And once you start winning, you want to keep winning. You know what? I'm going to go crazy today. Let me hit up a few more teeth today. When I throw that floss away, like, winning. Thank you very much. Winning. Cue, brushing your teeth. Routine, flossing. Reward in this case, a sense of victory. And at the very least, in between two teeth, you cleaned up a little bit more than usual. And that's something that I need you to do and focus on, okay? So remember that habit loop, because it's going to be important to figure out how we're going to do this. So how are we going to make a habit stick? That's the big challenge. Before we go on to this, I'm going to allow you an opportunity, if you'd like, to change another habit. So in the chat, I need at least to see 15 comments, another habit that you would like to change at home, either for yourself or for your children, for your partner, for your significant other, however you want. I need at least 15 of you in the chat to give me another habit that you would like to change. It could be when you get up. It could be what you do when you get up. It could be making your bed. It could be your morning routine, meditation, drinking water. I need to see at least 15 of you. If not, then I know you just tuned in and you're just trying to hang on for the prize. Work with me, people. I need at least 15 comments. Another habit that you would like to change. Put it in there so that I can see them, okay? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need more. I need a few more before we continue. Another habit that you'd like to change for your children that you know would bring you peace of mind. It would bring you joy. In some cases, euphoria. In some cases, oh my gosh, I didn't know that they could do this. And they can. I say, okay, we're doing good. We're doing good. I see a few more up there. Now, before I continue, how to make a habit stick is crucial. This is the part that we miss out. I'm going to challenge you right now. For the next 30 days minimum, we're going to take on 3 tiny habits, okay? But for the next 30 days, I want you to try this. And I want you to make them tiny habits so that you can teach your children and yourself that you can all succeed when creating tiny habits. Here's part of the formula to make these habits stick. Number 1, time. Pick a time. Why time? I'll make it simple for you. For some of us, as soon as you get up, you want to meditate, you want to go to the bathroom, you want to eat breakfast. For me, I have a time. My time is around 11 a.m. For what? To go to the gym, because I fast. So if it's getting close to 11, I'm already like, man, I got to take this pre-workout. I got to get out there because I want to be back home by 12:10, 12:15, because if I fasted, I eat afternoon. So I wait until noon. So I try to time it so that it falls under that time frame. So now you see how time influences your habit. For some of us, when you get home after you eat dinner, I'm telling you right now, I'm Hispanic. Come 8 p.m., all across this nation, that's soap opera time. That's telenovela time. That is the time where we watch dramatic people do things that we already know they're going to do, but still are hanging on by a shoestring. I wonder if he's going to get with her. We already know, but we still watch. Monday nights at 9 p.m. during football season, dun, 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 dun. Like, when you hear music, there's times. So know that creating a time that goes along with your habit will help you. Location, what does that mean? If you walk into the bathroom, you're not thinking, okay, well, what am I going to do at the gym per se? You have things that you're going to do in the bathroom. When you walk into the kitchen, you're not thinking, man, what should I do the next time I go into the bathroom? Because in the kitchen, you cook, you eat. That's what happens. When you walk into the gym, you're not necessarily thinking, man, what am I going to do when I walk into the office? You have things that you do at the gym. So your location makes a difference. If you're walking outside, if you're in your car. For some of us, you have a fear of driving without music. Why? Because then you start thinking too much and you get to wherever you're going even more stressed. So location plays a factor as well. Try to make it a similar location for that habit every time. Now, preceding event, watch. If you hear or feel this, What do you do? Immediately you're like, oh, where's my phone? Hey, somebody hear my phone? If you hear it, ding dong, your doorbell. That's the preceding event. As soon as you hear a ding dong, somebody has to go. Or in my case, somebody has to peek through the door and through the window to see who it is. That's a preceding event, okay? When you get into the car, you turn it on. Once you turn it on, AC, heater, music, connect your phone. I don't know what it is, but there's a preceding event. Know what those preceding events are so that they give you your anchor to move on to your habit, okay? Emotional state. I talked about this earlier. If you're overeating, it could be because of your emotional state. When I used to work at the University of Michigan Rackham Graduate School, go blue, by the way, my boss once told me, Ernesto, why are you stressing? I'm like, why would you say I'm stressing? I used to be one of those people that said, I don't stress. Back then, I had hair. Obviously, I stressed. I'm like, why are you saying that I'm stressing? Like, I'm good. Ernesto, why do you have 4 chocolates there? I'm a chocoholic. Hello. Everybody knows this. I love chocolate. It wasn't even a week later. I go to the store. The person at the store already knew me. Like, oh, busy, huh, Ernesto? I'm like, what do you mean busy? Like, I like chocolate. 4 chocolate bars I bought. 4. Don't judge me. I got an issue, okay? I'm sitting in my office working because I had a big event the next day. I had a big actor coming in on campus, and I'm like, man, I got to invite these people. I got to do this, and I got to do that. Into the chocolate, and I got into the chocolate. It was in my 3rd chocolate, approximately. It was probably my 4th, where I realized, oh my goodness, I'm not just a chocoholic. I'm stress eating right now. I'm freaking out about this big project, but because I love chocolate, and in my mind, I already made up the story of I just love chocolate. That's why I eat it. I was eating because I was worried about this upcoming event. It took my boss to highlight that for me. Sometimes we don't even realize it. Your emotional state, when you're down, not feeling good, and you start watching Netflix, just going to watch 1 episode. Okay, maybe 2. Okay, this is a good show, maybe 3. Next thing you know, you're done with an entire season, and you know who you are because you've done it. And I didn't mean to do that. Where did the day go? I can tell you where I went, on the couch watching the TV. Your emotional state plays a factor. The last one is other people. Hold on to your seats because I'm about to share a study with you that blew my mind, but it's a fact. The New England Journal of Medicine said that if your circle of friends begin to get obese, your odds of getting obese yourself increase by 57%. And it doesn't matter if they're near you or not, because your circle is doing something. Your circle tends to influence you. We have a saying in Spanish, tell me who you're with and I'll tell you who you are. You know what they say, your circle, if you're the smartest one in your circle, either you're hanging out with not the sharpest, knives in the drawer, or you think you're super smart. Maybe you need to switch. Your circle influences you. All of these things, when you talk about other people, I'll make it simple. If you really want to start working out, get 1, or if you can, 2 workout partners just to go with you, just to call you out when you don't go, to push you while you're there. Other people can influence that habit, okay? So I want to make sure that we're thinking about these and we're remembering these, okay? If you're with me so far, say here in the chat. I need to see at least 25 heres, because if not, it means you're not doing anything, okay? Here in the chat. All right, here. Help me and my ego and my self-esteem, please. If you're learning something and this has been worth your while thus far, say me in the chat, say me. And if nothing else, just for me, so we can get you through the finish line so that I feel a little bit better. Me. Look at y'all paying attention over here. All right, me. Ooh, thank you. That makes me feel better about myself. Now I feel a lot better. Well, look at man, it looks like we're all learning something. Now I feel really good about myself. So again, to recap, how to make a habit stick. The time, pick a time when you're going to do it. The location, preferably pick a location where you're going to do it. House, kitchen, outside, car, gym, whatever it might be. Preceding event, whatever happens before, whatever happens before. Preceding event for some of us, and I hate to share this, but it's the truth. Peak time for heart attacks in the United States used to be pre-crazy social media time, Monday morning. Where are we going on Monday morning that a lot of us don't want to go to sometimes? Work. In your mind, for some of you on Sunday night, you already feel your Sunday is ruined because you have to go to work the next day. Those are habits, and you can change those, okay? So preceding event influences your emotional state that we talked about, and other people. Get other people on a journey. My boy Zach is on here, and I invited him to a challenge with my boy Juan and a few other people. And we put each other in check every day if we didn't do some of the things that we said. Some of the things that we said was drink half of our body weight in water, work out at least to burn 500 calories, learn something new, read, podcast something for at least 15 minutes. Because there was a few of us, once one of us sent a picture to the other one, yeah, I got it in. I was like, man, I got to go. Like, I got to get it in too. Like, Zach already got it in. Juan already got it in. I got to get it in too. Other people will help you, okay? Now, here's where the pedal hits the metal, or the rubber meets the road, or whatever you want to call it. Now, I want you to implement. Talk is cheap, y'all. I can feel great about myself, and you all might feel, this has been great. This has been phenomenal. I love it. But if you don't do anything with what I'm trying to teach you, that's all it will be. And I would rather it does something for your household, for yourself, and for your children. I already gave most of you at least 2 habits because you put them in the chat. I set you up, my bad. I need everybody to think about 3 habits that you could change in your household. Now you can pick how you want to do this. You for yourself, your children for themselves, you as a couple, you as a family, however you want, but I need you to pick 3 habits. In the process, I need you to have an accountability partner. Again, those of you that are fortunate enough to have a loved one at home that cares for you, sometimes you might not feel like that, but they care for you. You can be each other's accountability partner, so you can check in on one another. Parents and children, trust me that you might, get a little uncomfortable. If you make your child your accountability partner, they're going to call you out on it. Hey, I thought we were going to do this. They'll check you on it. So parents and children, you can be each other's accountability partner. As you're thinking this through, I need at least 1 new habit, because you're picking 3. 1 new habit, and the reason I ask you to put it in the chat is because you give us all ideas. There's too much brain power in here for me to be the only one that's talking about this. So I want you to put it in the chat. I'm going to give you about a minute. I'm going to step away because I want to read the chat a little bit closer. I'm going to give you a minute. Everybody put 1 more habit, 1 out of your 3 that you're going to change or work on. I need you to put it in the chat. 1 more habit, put it in the chat. I'm going to go over here and read these because I have my computer away from me today. Bedtime sounds very good. Exercise, very good. Morning routine, very good. With your morning routine, let's be a little bit more specific. What are we doing? Daily steps, very good. Creative writing time. Ooh, awesome. Who wrote creative writing time? Let's think of 3 positives every day for creative writing. Reading more. Michelle, when I say tiny habits, I'm going to challenge you to read for 5 minutes. Motivation, bedtime for sure. Waking up before my kids. Walking every day. Make it something so that when we're walking, Natalie, I'm going to challenge you to walk for 5 minutes. You heard me right, 5 minutes. So easy, so small, so tiny a habit that you're going to crush it every day. Getting ready for school, exercising bedtime, read more, eat breakfast for sure. Being awesome, Tony. I think you're already there, but you're going to be more awesome, I think is what we're trying to say, Tony. But okay. Nighttime routine, okay? 5 to 10 minutes of reflecting on something positive. Very good. Telling my kids I love them more. Ooh, Michelle, why you got to go there? All right, Michelle, I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do it. Telling my kids I love them more. True story. Y'all give me my material that I work with. I was doing an event in Pennsylvania, and I had parents write a letter to their children. I'm going to challenge you to do the same, okay? In this letter, you get to tell your child why you love them and characteristics and traits and qualities that they possess that make you proud to be their parent. That's it. Not, I love when you help out around the house. And if you'd get up earlier every day, I'm sure, no, not where we're going. Little Bobby, I love it when you help your sister out with her homework, and that's really taking care of your family. You know what, Maria, I truly, truly appreciate that you help me clean up the kitchen sometimes without me asking. That shows initiative. That's something that's going to take you a long way in this world. Well, I did the same activity in Pennsylvania, right? Writing a letter to your child. Now I'll explain the rest of that. Let me explain the story first. I had a big group of parents. I said, you're going to write a letter to your child, telling them why you love them and some characteristics or traits that they possess that you appreciate. Now, don't go overboard to pat yourself in the back. I love how you work hard, just like your father taught you. No, it's not the time to do that, okay? I love how you're smart, just like your mom. Thank goodness there's some. No, not the time for that. Tell them that you love them and tell them why. I asked this audience to do so, and the dad was like, I got a question, man. Yeah, what's up? How can I help you, sir? Where I got like 6 kids, like that's a lot of writing, man. Can I just write like one letter for all of them and they can read it together? So I said, you know what? If they all mean the same to you and, they're all exactly the same, that one letter will probably work for all of them. So feel free to do so. He looked at me like, dude, give me 6 pieces of paper. Ugh. He had to write one for each one. When we're saying tell our children that we love them, I hate to burst your bubble here and be the one that shares the news. They're hearing opposite messages on a regular, on and off of social media, at school, on the way to school, on the way home from school, at sports, from their friends. You're tearing them down. That's the fun thing to do when you're a kid. Somebody needs to pour into their bucket regularly. Why not you? Because adults, when I say adults, parents, guardians, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, big brother, if you don't show them love at home, somebody else will. But you might not like who that person is or how they show love. So instead, let's have some dedicated time each day. And you're talking about a tiny habit, 1 minute for each one. 1 minute. So that you can sit down with them and tell them, I love that you did this today. I love you because of this. I noticed that you did this. I really appreciate that you did that. 1 minute for each one. And trust me that it's going to get to a point where they're going to see you coming. And remember how we established a habit, time, location, preceding event, emotional state, other people. They may be in bed and see you coming like, here comes my 1 minute. Here comes my mom to tell me how I did awesome today. Here comes my dad to tell me that he loves me. Man, I love this 1 minute. All of these things that I taught you earlier, you can do that in 1 minute to each. And by you pouring into them, it's going to make a world of a difference. And it's important that you do so. Because again, if you don't, somebody else will, but we might not like who that is. Okay, so everybody should have 3 habits now. If you wrote them down in the chat, I need to make sure that you write them down on a piece of paper or in your cell phone. So I need you to take a few seconds right now. If you're not writing on anything, I need you to write because I need you to have all of these habits, okay? Write down these habits. I need you to write down the 3 things that you're trying to change. And for each of you, if it's something different, good. Make sure that everybody's writing them down, okay? I need you to write them down because I'm about to gift you one of the best gifts that I gave myself, because when they say reading is fundamental and it helps you grow, it does. So James Clear has a book called Atomic Habits, great about habits. Charles Duhigg has a book about the power of habits, great book. And Dr. B.J. Fogg has a book called Tiny Habits. Again, Clear's is Atomic Habits, Duhigg, The Power of Habits, Fogg is Tiny Habits. Those are the 3 books that I think are the mecca for habits. And if you want to read and grow and develop more, check out one of those books. Now, I'm going to ask you to look at those 3 habits that you wrote down, but I want you to break them down in a different fashion. So when we said walk, I want you to write down and be more specific and make it super easy where you're going to write down, I'm going to walk 3 minutes in the evening. Like you're like, I can probably do that in my house. I want it to be super easy. Hence the reason they're tiny habits. For some of you, you said write. You know what? I'm going to write for 2 minutes. 2 minutes, just write for 2 minutes. If you want to increase your morale, boost your own happiness level, then I encourage you to write 3 positives every day. 3 positive things that you noticed that happened over the course of the day that you thought were good. And that doesn't mean that you had to do them. You could have seen a young child hold the door open for somebody, someone helped somebody cross the street, somebody paid for somebody else at the store, at the restaurant, whatever, but 3 positives. What you do when you start writing for about 3 positives, and this is based off of Sean Akers' happiness advantage, by the way, you change your radar, you change your mirror, you change your eyes, you change what you're focused on. Now I need to work through the day, go through each day looking for positive stuff because I need to write about them at the end of the day. I don't need you to focus on the negative because it's there in the news, on the TV, on social media, the newspaper, magazines. It's there in abundance. I do need you to change your focus on some of the positives. If you say work out, because I know some of you want to say that, and even for your family, make it a family thing where we're going to do a routine for 4 minutes together. It could be as simple as, and I'm going to give you a workout routine that's great, jumping jacks, air squats, push-ups, sit-ups. You pick the number, maybe 5 each. But we all do them at the same time. It's a family thing now. And if you're working out together, somebody's gonna be like, well, I can do 10. Oh yeah, well, I can do 11. Oh yeah, well, I can do 12. And I'll be like, all right, well, I'll watch y'all. But you start getting them to do something together, okay? Now, here's why I'm asking you to be more specific and make your habits easier. They need to be tiny. When you're thinking of your children, let me talk on this because it's just true. There's a big difference between things being done the right way versus things being done your way. And in case you need an example of it, ask your children to clean their room and then come back and inspect it later. This room isn't clean. What are you doing? What's this over here? What's it? Well, you didn't say that. Well, you weren't specific. We didn't say pick everything up. We didn't say nothing could be on the floor. There's a big difference. So make it so that it's something simple. In my household for habits, when my older kids were younger, we had to clean twice a day for 3 minutes, and we couldn't sit down. We had to move, walking 3 minutes each day. 3 minutes, twice, 3 minutes twice each day. So 6 minutes total, 3 minutes sometimes in the daytime, 3 minutes in the evening. That was enough to keep the house pretty clean. I'm not saying spotless, I'm not saying nothing was out there, but that was enough time to keep the house up to par. So now that you have your tiny habits, here's what I'm going to do. Before I put on the next slide, let me explain what I'm not gifting you, but really BJ Fogg is. I'm going to put a QR code up for you. All you need to do is take out your phone, open your camera and point at the screen, and then a tiny URL is going to pop up on your camera. You just click on it. It's going to take you to a free, yes, I said free. I don't know if you heard the word free, or as my uncle back home in Mexico likes to say, $3.99. It's free. 5-day tiny habit challenge conducted by Dr. BJ Fogg's team in Stanford University, where they give you a real live in-person coach for 5 days that is going to follow up with you to see how you're doing on your 3 tiny habits that you're trying to change. They may just ask and email you, hey, how'd it go today? Hey, what can we improve on? Hey, what do you think about this? But they check up on you. Here's the other challenge. I talked about this earlier. You are going to reply being 100% honest every time and not making up excuses, because we know where that's gotten us. If you didn't do them, say, you know what? I actually didn't feel that this was crucial enough or important enough for me to do today, so I didn't do it. Be honest. Don't start off with, today was a hectic day. Well, today was really hard. Well, be honest. Be honest. If you are honest, if you succeed on this adventure of creating tiny habits that can really change your household, you will see the results. Now, your children all need to be on this too. So they each need to pick 3 tiny habits. So before I move on to give you the QR code to sign up for the free Tiny Habit Challenge, I'd like everyone to put one tiny habit. I want to see if we're paying attention. Tiny habit that your children could take on over the course of the next month. So if you say something like make their bed, make it super simple. Spend 1 minute trying to make your bed. If you say clean up, spend 1 minute cleaning up. I need to see at least 15 answers. I'm going to give you another minute. I need to see at least 15 answers of something your children could do to create tiny habits. Okay, clean for 3 minutes 2 times a day. Okay, take shoes off at the door. Yes, I love that one. Brushing their teeth each night and morning. Absolutely. And if you want to go overboard, put that floss next to it. Take his dishes to the kitchen once a day. Very good. And maybe, just maybe, they might even start washing them one of these days. Take laundry to the laundry room and not under their bed. There you go. Pick dirty clothes up from the floor. 1 minute. Spend 1 minute picking up. Put dishes in the sink once a day. Very good. Share positive with siblings once a day. Javonda, I like that one. Share positive with siblings once a day. Let me give you another one with that one. And these are great ideas. So I'm glad you're sharing them. When you sit down for dinner, lunch, you can play a game. This is the game. This is an add-on to the tiny habits I'm trying to teach you. Everybody writes one question that they feel the entire family could answer about anything or everything. The topic's just free game. Everybody shares their question. If you can't write, somebody else writes for them, preferably a sibling, or you help them write so you can empower them to write. All those questions go in the middle of the dinner table. As you're eating dinner together as a family, yes, not one watching Netflix, one playing video games, one in the room doing homework, and the other one out in the garage. As you're eating dinner together as a family, that's the conversation that you have over dinner. You don't even have to say who asked the question. You just write it down. You ask the question, everybody has to answer. The cool one, because we all have that one at home, that chooses not to participate, doesn't answer, doesn't write down a question, no problem. You're in charge of cleaning up the table and doing the dishes at the end of today's dinner. Guess who wants to participate all of a sudden? Oh, I'll answer. Cool, I'm good. But if you choose not to, there's a consequence. Okay? And I just wanted to share that one based off of something you all shared. So, drum roll, please, in your household. Here comes what you've been waiting for. If you scan this, when my logo gets out of the way, sorry, I might need to change that so it gets out of the way. Let me do that for you right now. I apologize for that. When you scan this tiny URL, let me fix this over here and over here and over here. There you go. When you scan this, it's going to take you to the 5-day tiny habit challenge. That 5-day tiny habit challenge, you need to sign up before Monday. So right now is the perfect time to sign up so that you start your tiny habit challenge next week. You pick 3 things that you want to work on. It can be for yourself. It can be with your partner. It can be with your family. You pick however you want it to work out, but you pick 3 things, okay? Now, I'm going to leave that up there for a while, but I'm going to keep talking. And if you don't have a smartphone and it doesn't scan the QR code, all you need to do is use this incredible thing that you may have heard of called Google, and Google BJ Fogg's 5-day tiny habit challenge, or just 5-day tiny habit challenge. It'll take you to the page, you click on it, you sign up, and you tell them what you want to change, the 3 habits, and you start working on them. Once you have scanned or gotten to the web page, I need you to put in the chat, I'm good. 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 I'm going to ask if somebody, because they asked, if you can, once you get to the website, if you can copy and paste in the chat that website, that would be great too. Because I know a lot of you, some of you asked about it, and that would be great. If we can put it in the chat so everybody has it, thank you. I like that we're signing up. Again, if you want today to be worthwhile, if you really want to put yourself to the challenge of creating these tiny habits that are going to make a difference, sign up for BJ Fogg's Tiny Habit Challenge. It's free. There's coaching involved. Okay, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, if you're good, if you actually got to it, you know where it's at. Maybe even you're signing up. Please put it in the chat. Okay, please put it in the chat. Gil, I don't know if you're there, but if you can get the Tiny Habit Challenge, so I see somebody put the link in there already. Thank you very much, Kim. There's the link. Just click on that link and you can get it too. Okay, so click on that link and you can get it. If you need, I can come back, but for now, I'm going to stay right here. Now, I want to thank you before we continue, okay? Here's why. You're showing up and you're trying to do something to improve your households. That's already a victory in itself. But if you really want to win, then put this into practice. If you really want to empower your children, then maybe we start teaching them these tiny habits that can then produce great results. There was a general that gave a commencement speech, and you probably saw this on social media or a snippet of it, at UT Austin. He credits the success in his life, in the military, to making his bed. Making his bed. How did I get into this thing about habits? Well, I'll tell you how. In graduate school, one of my professors said, all right, everybody's going to pick something that they don't want to do, and you're going to do it for 28 days. I'm like, why would I do that? Like, it sounds like the worst class assignment ever. But he didn't tell us anything besides that. So I'm like, all right. Confessional. I told you I'm very honest. I was one of those people that sometimes made their bed, and just like our kids, I mean, I'm going to get back in it later. So, I mean, it doesn't really need to be made up. It's all good. Well, for 28 days straight, I made my bed. I'm like, I'm going to prove this professor wrong, because once somebody tells me that you can or can't do something, I'm either on one side or the other. Little did I know that that professor caused a disease that I can't get rid of. I cannot function or even leave the house at times if my bed isn't made. To date, I'm the one that makes the bed 9 times out of 10. Is it good or bad? Or am I saying it because I deserve a cookie? No, I'm saying it because it's a habit. It's a habit of mine. When I learned that habit, believe it or not, I also read that sometimes if you leave your workout clothes right next to your bed, so when you wake up and you see them, you're reminding yourself you need to work out. So I tried it. Started working out. As soon as I dropped my kids off at school, I'd go straight to the gym. I'm not saying that I worked out a lot or that I got big or anything like that, but I worked out. Started pushing it a little bit more. And I said, you know what? Let me try doing this thing that they say, doing the most difficult task first. But sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, just being honest. But when I turned it into a tiny habit of, I'm going to start off with the most difficult task, but I'm just going to do it for 2 minutes. If I make some progress, I catch a flow, or I'm in a groove, I'm going to keep doing it. But at least I'm making progress. And that's important. I don't know if you notice the theme that I'm giving you, but it becomes a domino effect. And I want you to acknowledge, speak to, pat on the back, verbally tell your children when you're noticing that they're working on these habits. Hey, I saw that you put in that minute for cleaning today. Thank you. Hey, thank you so much for, just putting the dishes in the sink. I don't know if you know this, but that's a big help for me. As soon as you say that, every now and then you're going to have a kid like, all I did was put them in the sink. Maybe I should wash them tomorrow. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Yes. One little thing can lead to another. I want you to try this because you deserve to be happy at home. You deserve to actually pour into one another. More importantly, I want you to teach your children how to become independent, critical thinkers that want to do good and ultimately can be on their own. I don't want to make you feel bad and I don't want to make things morbid, but we don't know what tomorrow has in store for us. My dad taught me work ethic. I lost my dad when I was 13 years old. To this date, I try to take care of all of my family. I work real hard. I make sure that I say what's on my mind. All of these things my dad taught me by the time I was like 7 or 8. I lost him when I was 13. He taught me how to do these things. I want you to do the same for your children because it'll pay off. These tiny habits can produce big results. After you go through your first challenge, guess what? You can sign up to do it again. I've done it multiple times. So the challenge for you is to go through this for at least 4 weeks. Try it for a month. Don't do what I said at the beginning as to why diets don't work. Well, I tried it for 3 days. They're not doing good and it's difficult. Look, get yourself in the mindset of this. You're going to try to do it 7 days and they might do it 4 the first time. Maybe 3. That's 3 more than they were doing before. The second week, you know what? Maybe they went up to 4. The third week, maybe they go back down to 3. Fourth week, maybe they hit 5 or 6 for the entire week. You don't know, and I don't know until you go through the entire process. I want you to go through the entire process so that you can see the results of your efforts. And there's nothing more beautiful than your children growing up and saying, you taught me this. You instilled this in me. You showed me the importance in. I like doing these things this way because that's the way you showed us. You can instill in them some of the tools that they need to succeed in life besides the academics. Because if you teach them how to be independent, if you teach them how to be responsible, if you teach them how to be respectful of their own family members by cleaning up, helping out, then you're teaching them how to win in life. Okay? Now, before we move on, I want to make sure, I think Gil's going to put the link in the chat if he hasn't already. I need to make sure that you register because we're trying to give some stuff away. But before we do so, I'd like for one parent, maybe 2, to unmute and tell me what you got out of today. This isn't for me and my ego. It's about what we taught. What did you get out of today? And more importantly, what are you going to do with what you got out of today? Can somebody unmute and let me know? And I'm hoping they can unmute. And if they can't, let me know because then that kind of defeats the purpose here. Can we get someone to unmute and let me know what you got out of today, please?
If you would like to unmute, raise your hand and I will take care of that for you.
There we go. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. You can raise your hand by raising your hand at the bottom where that little hand is like this, a high five. Oh, I see Jennifer wants to.
Yes. Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And I very much have enjoyed the talk. I told Kim previously that Atomic Habits changed my life, and this is right there in line with that. And for me, this was the push that I needed to start more habits. And so I'm excited to sign up for this, and I have signed up. I've already got my email from Tiny Habits.
Yeah, awesome.
And I'm sharing it on Facebook, hoping family and friends, because the positivity is what has attracted me to you tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so I'm really looking forward to building on what you've taught me tonight.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. And I don't know if you've noticed, but you're already working on making a habit stick, and you probably didn't notice it. You're getting other people involved. And if there are other family members that get involved, it can be a family thing, and you might make it work for all of you, and everybody will win. So virtual round of applause. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Was it Jennifer? Was that who shared?
Yes.
Jennifer, if it's okay with you, Gil would like to send you a $50 gift card so you can go out there to maybe, I don't know, get some coffee or anything that might help you on this journey of your new tiny habits. Is that okay with you, Jennifer?
Yes, I'm going to go buy that book.
All right, there you go. Perfect. All right, virtual round of applause for Jennifer. I appreciate you. Appreciate you very much. Anybody else? Did we get another hand raised? Because I'd like to hear how it went today and if you're taking something away. Thanks again, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Did we get somebody else to raise their hand or not? I can't see. I'm sorry.
I do not see another hand. Actually, no, I see one more. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Enid. Well, Enid, you took your hand back down. Okay, there we go.
Oh.
Allow her to talk. Oh, I cannot. Sorry, I can't get you in here,
okay.
Enid.
Oh, that's okay. All right. All right. Well, let's do this then. Gil is the person that you really want to see right now, because he's the one with that wheel. And just like in education, sometimes you put in work and effort and you don't see the reward that's coming way down the road. You all put in work and effort by joining us today, signing up, staying on, learning, taking notes, hopefully signing up for the Tiny Habit Challenge. Gil's going to spin the wheel because Gil would like to give away what, Gil? Can you let them know? Because you're better at this.
It's a $100 Amazon gift card that I'm giving away, that we're giving away.
What? Is my name in there, Gil? I just want to make sure. Okay.
You paid enough. You know how it is.
All right. If you are interested in the gift card, just say I want to win in the chat. Because if you didn't say I want to win and you win, we're going to give it to somebody else. I'm just saying, just throwing that out there. All right. Ooh, now I see some people I want to win. All right, very good. All right. So you put up the link for them to sign up again, right, Gil? You got names and everything. You're good to go.
Yep. Names are good to go. Let me just bring this up for you now.
All right. You're in charge. Spin that bad boy.
All right. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck, y'all. Big money, big money, big money, big money. I really don't see my name in there. That's a little sad.
Mine isn't either.
Oh.
There we go. Misty Brown.
Misty Brown. Are you present here today? If not, the prize goes to me. Just making sure. Misty Brown. If you put in the chat that you are present and that you accept your prize. And you can also put in the chat, please send prize to Ernesto. That's fine too.
I don't
You
see
in the chat,
Misty.
I don't see. Yep. I don't think she's here.
No?
Nope. I'm
Going once, going twice. And Gil, guess what?
We're going to spin again.
You're gonna have to spin again. You snooze, you lose. That's what happens. Like everybody that hung on was like, good, let's do it again. Nobody tell Misty, y'all, okay? Ooh, I see I want to win in there too again. Let's see what we get this time around. It's gonna stop. It's gonna. Oh. Gil?
Paula Green.
Paula Green, are you present, Paula Green? I want to make sure that Paula Green is present to claim their prize.
No, you're going to think I'm lying. I did see her name on the participant list. There she is. Okay.
Yes. All right, Paula Green. Gil, you already have her information, right?
Yes. So for Jennifer and for Paula, I'm going to reach out to both of you via email with your gift cards then, Amazon gift cards.
Very cool. Very cool. So that being said, to wrap things up, I'm going to request a big favor of you all. And Kentucky Gear Up, you can put your social media on there too if you want to be tagged. I'd like for you to post on social media something that you learned, something that you're going to do. And if you can, tag CoolSpeak at CoolSpeak. Yes, CoolSpeak, one word, CoolSpeak. Gil, can you throw it up in the chat for me, please? We'd like to hear how things went. We'd like to see what you're going to do. And Gear Up Kentucky, shout out to y'all for helping our families, our parents, and even their children on this Tiny Habit Challenge, because I know that if we can continue on this path, guess what, y'all? You can start a Tiny Habit Challenge at the beginning of the school year to get them in good study habit routines, okay? Thank you very much, everybody. My name is Ernesto Mejia. I hope that you learned something beneficial today. If you didn't, my name is Gilfredo Pena. If it was useless, my name is Gil Pena. But if you did, my name is Ernesto Mejia, and I appreciate your time, your effort, and your energy. And I know, Kim, there's a few more things that we need to cover before we wrap up, right? Or I can't even see who's on. I'm sorry. Yes. Okay.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead. Take it away.
Ernesto. That
My
was
pleasure.
amazing. Thank you, Ernesto. Thank you, Gil, for spreading the love and the prizes. I especially appreciated, Ernesto, just the reminder of like how important it is to just take 1 minute to pour into our kids. Like, really appreciate that. That's one of the things I'm going to take away from tonight.
Awesome.
Before you leave, thank you for hanging on with us. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Before you leave, there's a link in the chat. We want to keep bringing really important tools and resources to you in this virtual space. So please let us know how your experience was tonight and what you'd like to learn about in the future. And with that, have a great night. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everyone. Best of luck with your Tiny Habit Challenges.